Cowboy Caviar is an amazing version of a cold bean salad. This salad comes together really easily. I'm going to show you how to make a delicious vinaigrette, and it's a pretty easy assembly. You just chop up a bunch of vegetables, open up some cans, dump them in a bowl, mix them with the vinaigrette, send this in the fridge, let it cool down, and let all those flavors come together, and you got an amazing side for your next barbecue. For the full ingredient list, check the description box below, but enough talking, let's get cooking.
This salad starts off with one of the most important components in cooking is going to be making a simple vinaigrette. I think vinaigrettes are the key to making delicious salads, especially like this bean salad. They're always going to start off with some type of oil and some type of acid, especially some type of vinegar. So here we're going to start off with some olive oil and some red wine vinegar. We're also going to double up on the acidity portion, and we're going to add some limes in, because limes, not only do they add acidity, they also add delicious flavor. So we're going to take out our juicer, and we're going to juice 2 limes into there. So now we have some olive oil, some lime juice, and some vinegar in the bowl, and we're also going to put in some soy sauce for some umami flavor. And now this is a really nice ingredient that I've been using in a lot of sauces, and it really works well in this vinaigrette. That's a garlic chili paste. And now here is the secret ingredient for this Cowboy Caviar. This is some frozen orange juice concentrate. So we're going to throw a little bit of that in there. Not only is that going to add sweetness, it's going to add a really nice deep orangey flavor that's going to interact with the limes and really brighten up this bean salad and really make it live up to the reputation. This is a Chef Ange recipe, so here is the garlic. Garlic lovers rejoice. We're going to shred in the garlic because we don't want anybody to know it's there, so we're going to take out our microplane and we're going to shred this into oblivion and then just give that a dump inside the container. Now we're going to throw in some of my base seasoning, which is a blend of garlic powder, onion powder, salt, and pepper. If it's not your first time here, you know that the link is in the video description. And we're also going to put in some smoked paprika for a little bit of red color and that smoky flavor. And here is some ancho chili powder. Chili powder really matches well with the flavor profile of this Cowboy Caviar, which is like somewhat of like a southwestern-y, Mexican-y kind of flavors. So we're going to give this a little bit of a taste. It tasted like it needed a little bit more of a fat component, so I added a little bit more olive oil. And it was a little bit liquidy, so we're going to add an emulsifier here. So we're going to add some Dijon mustard. Dijon mustard is a pretty common ingredient you'll see in a lot of vinaigrettes, and I threw this in here because one of the things that this mustard will do is it will bind the oil and the vinegar components, so it has a nice smooth texture and it doesn't feel broken. We're going to put this in a container, and we're going to throw this in the fridge while those flavors come together. And now the rest of this recipe is really just chopping stuff and dumping up some cans. So we're going to chop these red bell pepper up into little dice, and you can see that this is a great opportunity to work on your knife skills. I love recipes that have a lot of different chopping components to it, because so much of cooking is your knife skills, and if you're not practicing them, they're not getting any better, and that means you're not becoming any better of a cook. So get out your knife. You can already see that we took the red onion and the red bell pepper, we did a dice, and now we're doing rocker chopper on this green scallions. And now here is something that I find that people really don't know how to cut well. These are tomatoes, so I'm going to cut these tomatoes into quarters. Then I'm just going to rock them on their side and take out the inside with the knife and use the roundness of the tomato. Then I'm going to take my finger and just go in there and clean out all the seeds and the mushy stuff. And now we're going to do the same exact thing that we did to that pepper. We're going to pull our knife tip across the cutting board and then rocker chopper all the way through into nice little diced tomato pieces. Now, here's another one that gives a lot of people a lot of trouble. It's the avocado. So I went down one way, and now I'm going down the other way, and I make this little crosshatch, and you can see I did that on the cutting board and not in my hand. Too many people stab themselves in the hand when they do it in their hand. And now I take a spoon, and I just go underneath and clean that all up. Now, again, with this southwesterny, Mexican-y kind of flavor profile, we're going to put some cilantro in there, and I put just one small bunch that I chopped up pretty finely, and I'm going to reserve a little bit for some garnish like I did with the scallion greens. Not sure if I mentioned that. So now we're going to use some canned ingredients. We're going to throw in some black beans. These are some black-eyed peas, and I just drained and rinsed these. We're going to use some corn. I was going to use fresh corn for this recipe, but the corn looked terrible at the supermarket, so we're going to go with the canned stuff. And here's a really interesting ingredient. These are canned green chilies. You'll find these in like the taco aisle. And now we're going to pour in our vinaigrette. We're going to reserve a little bit just in case. We don't want to overdress this salad. We want to give this a little bit of a mix first, and then we'll decide whether we want to pour the rest of it in. And we did, because it looks like it needed just a little bit more. There's a lot of stuff in this bowl. This is a great recipe to make if you're having a party or something like that, and you're having a lot of people over. This is also a great recipe for meal prep, because I can eat this entire bowl by myself. One of the things we're going to do here is make some semi-homemade tortillas in the spirit of like making stuff. And I had these tortillas lying around from my previous carnitas taco recipe. So we're going to use a pizza cutter, and we're going to stack up a bunch of these. We're going to fold them in half, and we're cutting these tortilla-sized shapes out of the tortillas. I've never done this before, but I wanted to see if we could make these tortillas in the air fryer. So I've got about 6 chips out of each tortilla, and you can see they're just about as big as a Tostito or a regular corn chip. And now we're going to spread these out on the air fryer tray. We're going to give them a little spray with some oil, a little sprinkle of some salt. And now these are going to go in the hot air fryer for about a minute and a half on each side. So we can actually do a bunch of batches really quickly. You can see how these have crisp up a little bit. We're going to flip them and just give them another bit of a spray and a little sprinkle with the oil before we send them back in there. Here I'm using avocado oil, but you can probably use any oil that you'd like that comes in a spray format. And so these are beautifully crispy. And these are just going to go in a bowl, and it didn't take long to even make this entire bowl out of those tortillas. So now a couple of big scoops of this beautiful bean salad. Cowboy Caviar indeed. This is really elegant, really nice. Now we're going to finish by garnishing with some of that leftover cilantro and the scallion greens. Not only was this recipe easy, this bowl looks super healthy. There's things loaded with vegetables. It's totally vegan. We didn't put any animal products in there. And I'm really excited to try this with the chips. Now I can see why this is the trending recipe of the summer.
I'm really excited to try this. Let's see if this passes the snap test. Wonderful. All right, so we're gonna take this chip and really, really load it up. Oh, it's a nice little bite right there. Well, enough looking at it. Let's eat it. It's got a little savory. It's a little sweet. A little bit of that heat from that chili garlic paste. This is absolutely delicious. While I'm crushing the rest of this bowl of Cowboy Caviar, you check out some of my other videos here, and I'll see you there. Thanks for watching.